Okay, so for this assignment, it's just another basic assignment, getting you used to using Inkscape and trying to play around with some fonts for your future logos. And in here, we're looking at mixing typefaces. So we're using two different typefaces to create a logo design. And you can also, when you're using the two different typefaces, you can change your spacing, change your lettering, change your colors. But this is what the purpose of this is. I want you to create 3 logo designs where you're combining two different typefaces, and in at least one of them change up the color in there as well. So I'm just going to do just a brief rundown of some ways that you can do that. Okay, here's 2 different logos that I created in here, and I'll do a third in a moment, but let me just show you in terms of this one, in terms of Beam and Raquel. These are 2 separate, I have 2 separate words. I did my first name and my last name separately. I chose my first name because it was the longest one to be the one that ended up, my last name being the shorter one was the one that was highlighted, and then I just added in my longer one where I could. So this was just changing my typeface of my name and changing the color of it. I could change it to whatever I wanted in there. And this one over here, again, I just typed in my last name, went up and went in and looked at the different fonts and chose a font that I liked for that one. Now, the thing that I wanted to notice down here was when I actually typed in my last name, I'm just going to delete, or my first name, I'm just going to delete that for a second. So I'm just going to type in my first name. Now, where I wanted this to go was under here, but I would like it equally spaced between the I and the M. So what you have to do is just highlight on your, highlight on your name, and then up in here you've got some different options in here. This is spacing between lines of text, and this one is spacing between letters of text. This one's spacing between words and horizontal kerning. But what I want to focus on here is the spacing between the letters, and if I just increase the spacing between the letters, watch what happens. The letters will space themselves out equally so that I can get my name here. Just wanted to, and the R is not quite lined up where I want it, so that I can get my name, oh actually it's okay right there, lined up underneath the I and the M. So that was just an easy way to do the spacing of the letters, equally spacing them, and then I can just go in and just change whatever the color I want of my first name in there to be whatever I just still have to highlight it in there. Okay, so those are just some easy ways. I've got two different fonts, and I did change the color. I mean, you can go in here and do whatever you want, whatever works for you. I can change just the color of one letter as well if that works too. It doesn't really matter, whatever you like. And really be watching for the elements and principles of design, what works well together, how you have the flow in here, where your eye is drawn when you see this. But you'll have to do 3 different versions of a logo using 2 different typefaces and switching up color.